Hey guys, sorry. Okay, let's do this. Hey, if this is anyone's first call, I don't think it is. I'd love to know who iPhone 37 is, because I see that name a lot and I don't know who it is. And I see you join my Zoom calls always early. And I'm not sure who that is. Awesome. Okay. Now I know. I knew it was you. Hey, okay, so we're gonna start with rank advancing. And I've got some really good stuff. I went back to like when I hit senior rep, we had this archaic, barbaric way to do things, and it works. Like it got me to success in 60. So I got to be a senior rep in 60 days. So regardless of, my thoughts on it, it works 100%. And I want to share with you sort of exactly what that is and my thoughts from it as well. Okay, so I'm going to start with the Moonshot bonus. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, that's okay. It's a lot coming at you. Even when they launched the Moonshot bonus, it was like, really, I don't know what that is and why are we doing it? It's basically for you to hit senior rep in 2 commission periods. So if you signed up on November 15th, or let's say October 15th, you would have 2 more commission periods. So that's actually over 60 days to get to senior rep. So it's just 2 commission periods to get to senior rep. And that's what the Moonshot bonus is, and you'd get extra money. Cash is so great, return on your investment right away. I mean, we should encourage our reps to get to Moonshot because it's just another incentive. It's also helps you rank advance when they rank advance, right? So I'm starting at the bottom in terms of junior rep, senior rep, because that's where the magic happens. If you're looking at director, if you're looking even at senior rep to a director, senior director, executive, and especially the higher ranks, you have to look at your reps, your reps on your team. I don't care if you have a team of 1 or 50, you look at them and you help them succeed. And that's how you do this. If you are staring at me now and you don't have a team yet, then there's still going to be so much value for you in this little training. And I'll say this all night, booking parties is really the key. It's really the key to do this. Why? Because it builds momentum. You start building residual income. You start your connections. You start getting out of your warm market right away, which is so important. It's really just like slingshots you to where you want to be. So booking parties, especially outside your warm market, start in your warm market, obviously, but booking parties outside your warm market, that's where the magic happens. Anyone can do this, and you can help your new reps do it too. So if you just signed a rep recently, I want you to really be listening. How? You have to be coachable. You have to know what your goal is. You have to go after it. You have to make it a priority. At no point there did I say you have to spend hours and hours and hours over the next 30 days doing this. So I'm going to repeat. You have to be coachable, which means you have to reach out if you feel like you need help. And then you have to take the advice from someone you're reaching out to. Okay? I mean, if it's good advice, but know what your goal is, go after it, and make it a priority. Make it a priority is focusing on activity and not on results. At no point do I want you to look at your numbers and be like, well, I'm never going to make it, so I'm going to stop putting in the effort. Because in this business, we have to consider that there is no timeline, and that if you're committed to your goals, you will get there when you get there, and not in a 30-day increment. There are so many systems and resources in place for you. We need to start taking advantage of them. I actually went and looked today, and it's disgusting how many systems and resources are available. It's almost like, I think there's too much. I think there's too much. And maybe that's why people aren't taking advantage. I don't know, but be coachable, go after it, make it a priority. Super important. However, I think when you first start, You have an even more closed mind to the people around you. When you first start, especially when you first start, I feel like you don't think that the people around you could use this too. So you don't ever think to ask that. I did that too. I'm not speaking from this high horse. I 100% did that. I lived through it. I lived through it in terms of, no, I'm not going to ask her. And then someone else signed her. No, I'm not going to ask her. And then someone else signed her on my own team. Okay. Especially when you're first starting, I think you get in your mind that the people around you wouldn't use something like this or wouldn't want to be involved in something like this. So you don't even ask. You just never know. You never know until you ask. Have a conversation with someone. I literally have conversation ideas of what they look like. I'm going to share them with you. Let's talk about the strategy to get to Moonshot bonus or to get to a rank in general. You have to focus on the party bookings, which is why I did this training and then the next training. You have to focus on party bookings outside your warm market, ideally. If you have 4 for next month, I want you to get 6. If you don't think you have enough time for that, I want to show you how to schedule posts. I want to show you Visly. I want to show you how to do a multi-host party. So you're doing work one time, but you've got 2 or 3 parties on the go. If you want to get to your goal, that is what you're going to have to do. Activity. Okay. Encourage your reps who also just signed the same thing. Party bookings. That should be the #1 topic across the board in every single rep on this team, bar none. And we're going to talk about that in the next training. Sales are great, but the point I think I'm trying to make, even from your launch party, is booking events. Okay. People think launch party is there for, sales and, getting your first paycheck and it's, so forth. It's for booking events. That's what it's for, is to get your connections out right away. For instance, when you look at junior rep, you have to sell $1,500. That's like lifetime volume. You have to have $1,500. You have to have personal volume of 200. Obviously, if you just signed up and you got to $1,500, you already have the lifetime, you already have the personal volume, you're good to go. You maybe brought on 1 or 2 teammates and they've accumulated 600 in their volume. Okay. I know that's a lot of numbers coming at you. If you need help with these numbers, I'd love to chat with you about them. Okay. I literally think in these numbers all the time, but to get to junior rep, you have to have at least $1,500 in your lifetime volume. If you've been here for a couple months, you have that. Okay. But that month you have to reach 200. If you are a first time rep, if you're a new rep, if you're starting this month or next month, you might not have that. So you're going to have, $1,000 in sales. You're just going to have to work your business and have sales and have parties. If you bring on 1 teammate, obviously they have to do 600, right? But if you bring on 2, if you bring on 3, which is totally possible, by the way, we've had reps do that. They're going to do less, right? It's like 200, 200, 200. They get 145 just for signing up. If you're looking at a director rank, these numbers are very important to you. To recruit, to continue to recruit, they get $145 volume added to your group volume when you sign someone up. That's huge. Sign 3 people. You almost made junior rep numbers right there, right? So just keep that in mind, guys. Junior rep definitely is the biggest hurdle when it comes to rank advancing, in my opinion. I mean, getting to double Zaya has apparently been very difficult, but I feel like junior rep is that first hurdle in terms of you actually have to ask people. You have to actually share about this business. That is your first step. And then you're going to do it on repeat for, so many conversations, but it's the first time that you have to. And I feel like people get kind of hung up on that. I literally have scripts. I took the scripts that I used and I have them coming to you. But when you hit junior rep, senior rep will just come naturally because you already have people on your team and you're continuing to recruit and you're focused on those party, bookings. It's so important. For junior rep, they advise you have 4 parties booked, 4 parties scheduled for the next month. If you're going for junior rep, that's what it is. If it's senior rep, it's the same thing. 4 parties booked for this month, 4 parties booked for next month. Senior rep numbers, as we know, 3,000, and you have to have your first level, your reps that you sign at 1,200. Okay. And obviously if there's 1, they have to be a rock star rep. If there's 2 or 3 or 4, it makes it a lot easier, right? And that 145 PV really helps. Amazing that this is totally doable for every single person who wants to do it. It truly is. And I think people miss the point when I had Marie or Mare, the person who signed me, I had her talk because she has 3 reps that she signed in her business. And she has almost 500 on her downline. That just blows my mind, but it doesn't really, because I am growing and I am constantly looking at, recruiting, but she's not. She is different business, different business wants than I do, but she can still do this business her way. Do you see what I mean? So that's why everyone needs to focus on getting their reps, whether you sign 1 or 10, it doesn't matter, to Moonshot bonus, because you don't know what they're capable of until they have the momentum, until they have that wind at their back and they've got like that cash kind of investment back, and they've got their, they know the ropes. They know that they have to reach out to people about the business and, book parties. But it is amazing that this is totally doable. And the key is to continue to recruit, which means you're just going to continue to have conversations. That's what that means. You have to be activity focused. You have to be activity focused. And I was like that right from the beginning. I never focused on the fact that, and if I went back, guys, from this year to that last year, there's a difference of $55,000 in my commissions. That's a lot. If that doesn't make your jaw drop, I don't know what will, but $55,000 from one year to the next. I don't focus on numbers. I focused on activity. I focus on what I can control. I focus on keep moving forward, right? You have to be activity focused always, and not results focused. Regardless of any rank you are trying to hit in your business, efforts don't equal results right away. You have to have that momentum. You have to keep going. You have to move forward, right? The key is to have as many possible conversations as you can, as you are capable of. Having conversations when you go to hockey, you're sitting there and someone's like, oh, wow, I love that. Yeah, Zaya, actually. Have you heard of it? It's very simple. Okay, you just have to be a human. All of you who are sitting there and you're like, oh, I'll just come to this, but I already know the things, and who have maybe followed Australia people, or maybe like put out feelers and you follow people, or you've struck up conversations, but you haven't done the Zaya thing yet. I need you to really listen, because now's your chance. It's time to ask them. I think I was talking to a rep the other day and she's like, yeah, I followed like 50 or 100 people from Australia, but I just never brought Zaya up yet. I'm just waiting. Like, what are you waiting for? Like, what is that? It's time to ask them and start with the business. Seriously. It's still so new there. Zaya launched in January. You can say it may or may not be for you, right? But I would love for you to take a look at it. Would you be willing to check it out? Question mark. Right? If they say no, well, this new line is really popular and I love the fact that there's a 12-month warranty. Would you be open to hosting an event and get some discounted free credit? If they say no, awesome. Well, here's my VIP and I give away a shit ton of stuff, so you should probably get in there. Like, really, those 3 questions, you start with the business, you go to the party, and then you're like VIP. If you don't want to be in there, you're an idiot. Don't say that. Sorry, should clarify. But seriously, the people that you have connected with, but you haven't, the ones who are watching your stories and you're like, oh, I'm not going to message them yet. I'm going to wait. Just don't wait. Now's the time. Now's the time. Before Christmas, they're looking for another income. They're obviously watching your stories. It's probably not for your sense of humor. So, let's get on this. I shouldn't say that. Some of you are very funny. But if you want to go for the goal, you need to become the person who is at that level. So it does require a little bit of assertiveness. Not really assertiveness. You just need to make it a priority and you need to go after what you want. You can also just start with party bookings. If the business scares you a little bit and you're like, you know what, I don't really want to ask strangers about the business just yet, because that's cold marketing and apparently no one grows their business on that. You can start with the party booking. And the key is the consistency with the conversations there. Consistency with the conversations and the focus on the activity. You're not focusing on results. You're not going for the yeses. You're just focused on the activity. You're focused on doing the things, having those conversations. And if you think the no's bother you, you just have to consider them like you're at a coffee shop, at a diner, the really good ones. And the lady keeps coming over offering you coffee because that's her job. And you say no, because you don't want the coffee right now. You don't think about how it's going to hurt her feelings. Oh, geez, I should take it. She really is invested in that coffee. No, she doesn't care. She's just holding the coffee. It's just a thing that she's doing. And she's going to keep offering the coffee to the people, regardless of your no. Okay? It's literally the same thing. You are sitting on value. You are sitting on something that you didn't create. You're not Aaron Bradley. So when they hear the no, it shouldn't affect you any because you're going to continue to get paid. It's just the coffee. You're just offering coffee because you think that they might like it because they're literally on social media, probably sharing things anyways, just like they're at the breakfast diner. You would assume that maybe they might be interested in the coffee. That's it. It's just not for her, and it's just not right now for her. That's it. Okay. So there are some expectations, right? When you're recruiting, when you're having these conversations, when you're putting in the activity, there's going to be objections. Okay. There are no's, but I feel for a lot of you. And if I asked you for screenshots right now from any of you, there's a huge difference between no's and objections. And I would say 75% of those objections that you take for a no are just objections, just that they're not, that they're not confident enough, that they don't think they have time, that they, don't think that their salesperson, those objections are key. If they're giving you an objection, that means they've considered it. If it's just a straight up no, that's a little bit more hard to work with. But I feel like a lot of time when we get objections, we're like, oh, geez, back off. It's like asking the question about the coffee. Like it should just be a continued conversation. At no time, right? Like someone saying no time. How much time do you think this is going to take? Like for booking a party, if someone says, oh, I don't have the time. Well, how much time do you think it's going to take? Ask them. It's a few minutes a day. It's really not that big of a deal, right? The thing too, I want you to keep in mind is that this goes for recruiting, but it also goes for party bookings, because I'm not sure how many times I've heard it in the last 30 days, 60 days, 90 days about, well, I can't book any parties. I can't book any parties. Everyone keeps saying no. I'm getting so many no's. Are you getting no's or are you getting objections? Because if I hear it and then I say, okay, send me a screenshot. And then you're like, oof, she caught me. So the objections are, it's crazy. We're coming into a very busy schedule, busy season for people. You have to narrow down their focus. I feel like that helps for me when I say, hey, Sally, I'd love to book you a party. I've got, I immediately thought of you. I had an opening. I have, November 7th or November 15th or whatever. Give them 2 dates. It narrows their focus instead of them like, well, I can't look at November because I've got parties, Christmas parties. There's Remembrance Day, and there's like lists, right? Lists of like Christmas shopping and everything else. And they're going to be like overwhelmed. But if you narrow their focus down and give them 2 dates, I feel like it makes it better. The objection, and I know I've said it about recruiting a lot, but really when it comes to party bookings, it's the same thing. Objection is a reason to clarify some things, right? So definitely keep that in mind. No perfection. Can't have perfection when we're trying to rank advance. It's just not going to work. Okay. You can literally go and get all of the organization things at Staples, and you can listen to all the personal development. I'm talking the best of the best podcasts, and you are like binge watching these, and they're just full of fire and value and all the things. That's not going to get you anywhere. You still have to do the work. You have to make it a priority, and you have to go after what you want. And guess what? You already know the things. You already know what they're teaching you. You already know what they're going to say. So why are you listening to it? Instead, you could focus that 20 minutes, 40 minutes on like actual things that are going to move your business forward and help your team. So no perfection allowed. As a leader, you are a leader. I really want you guys to listen to this part. I have it circled several times. As a leader, you are just the go-between for your reps and their success. You are not at any, I'm going to say this as nicely as I can. At no point do you help them more than they help themselves. Okay. I feel like that needs to be said because several people have brought it to my attention lately, but you still need to scale your business. This is, at the end of the day, this is your business. It's super important to you. You need to focus on your business. Yes. And your team is invaluable, but our systems are there to be used. Guide them to the systems. Hey, There's a video on this. I'd love you to take a look. It's literally step by step. Let me know if you have any questions after you watch the video. Hey, here's a group. Hey, here's a training. There's customer service. You are there to help them and to guide them. Okay, so make sure that you're not like stretching yourself, overextending yourself, especially coming into a period where you want to rank advance. You need to focus on you. Yes, I know it goes against everything, and yes, it's very much team oriented, but you still need to scale your business. Okay, and our systems are there to be used. At the end of the day, too, you have to behave like the person that it is you want to be. So if you're looking at director, how is a director going to show up for their team? How is a director going to show up for their business and going to continue to scale their business, right? How is a top leader going to show up? If you want to be a top leader, how do they do things? Okay, what about a recruiter, crazy recruiter? How is it they do things? Maybe they focus a little bit more on talking about it on their stories, on their Facebook. Junior rep, how do they show up? Okay, all of those, by the way, show up in terms of you talking about the business, having conversations, focusing on activity and not on results. So if you want to go for the goal, you need to become the person who is at that level, which is why, and it's going to bring me right into, well, I feel like me going after this goal is about me and not my team. I'm going to actually touch on that. Okay. And it's going to be super important, but you can do this and anyone can. Truly. If you think you can, then I think you need to have a little bit more belief in yourself, because I think everyone on this team can rank advance if that's what they want to do. For instance, let's talk directors for a second, and then I'm going to get literally into numbers, but rally your team. So if you're hitting director, and even, so this means you're a senior rep, you have to rally your team. You have to create a group chat. You have to make them aware of the goal, whether this director or above, senior director, executive, Zaya, executive, double Zaya, right? I'm not going to sneak to double Zaya. You guys will know about it every single day. You will know about it. Okay. It's not about you, but you need to tell them what they need to know for the team. This business is duplication, and this is so important. So when you win, they know that they can win because you are clearing the path for them. You're doing it, and then you're going to help, and you're going to reach, and you're going to be like, let's do it. You can do it. I just did it. I want to show you how. And that's what this team is about. You are leading the way and lighting the way, helping them create momentum, because in order for you to get where you want to be, you have to help them get to where their next step is and where they want to be. And that's so important because it gives them hope, gives them strategy, because you're doing the things, you're scaling your business, as well as encouraging them to get to the most out of their businesses, creating momentum. It does all amazing things, guys. Encourage community. It is also really fun. Okay. Doing something fun together, especially in this day and age, we can all use some fun and excitements on a group chat when you're on there and she's posting and she's like, guys, like we had $4,000 in volume yesterday. That's so amazing. Wow. Incredible. Right? Like, and everyone rallies, and it's just like, it just makes your day. And it doesn't have to be about, it can be literally one person rank advancing. We see it in group chats all the time. So this fun and fulfilling part of the business, this is what I'm talking about. This is very much going for a goal and working together. So this is what I do. When you divide volume, and I used examples, I hope you guys don't mind. I'm going to start with mine, and it's going to blow your freaking mind. If it doesn't, it should. To get to my next goal, which our team would be double Zaya executive, I have to have $250,000 in a month for group volume. Over 30 days, let's say it's November. Do you know how much that is per day per rep? $16. That's it. $16 per day. If every rep sold $486, let's say $500 per day or per month for one rep. So each rep on this team sold $500 in the 30 days. That would bring the group volume to 250,000. That's it. That's all I need. That's all I need you to do is do 500. That's it. It's a very easy goal. But this is how you need to break your numbers. So for Krista's team, for instance, it's $50,000. It's 30 days. You can break it down into 30 days each day. So it's $23 a day per rep. $23 a day per rep. So if you take the 23 and you times it by 71, that's the group volume that you need to get each day to be on track. Of course, you're going to have more reps doing more and a few reps doing like, you know, and then you're going to have discount reps, and it's all going to balance out, especially if people are working together. And then you're going to have one day, it's like, wow, Sally sold 6 pairs of whatever or whatever, right? So you will have these ebbs and flows. For tag-in, for Lois, for director, for anyone else going for director. And I did tag in and Lois because they both have the same reps, the amount of reps, but it's $10,000 in a month, which is 30 days. It's literally if each rep earned $1,000 in that month, but that's including yourself, who you both do more than $1,000. So you're taking the weight off right away and they have to do less. So across the board, if you're looking at numbers like that, you always should keep that focus. For Jacqueline's downline, it's $66 a day per rep. For, you know, like I could go on and on. And if you want your numbers, I can help you with your numbers, right? But when you break it down like that, it just makes it so much more like doable. $18 a day, guys. $500 a month for each rep. 500, that's it. That doesn't even like, right? We have reps like 5-6 grand. So when you break it down like that, it makes it 100% doable. And I love that part of it. But you have to remember that regardless of the 30 days, regardless of whatever, putting in the work comes down to, are you committed or are you interested in this, right? Because if you're interested in it, you're going to do it and it's going to be great. And then when it gets hard, you're not going to do it anymore because it's too hard or something came up or you had a rough day or you're tired. And I'm not talking time in, like, I don't ever expect people to be like, oh, wow, I've spent hours on this each day. No, that's ridiculous. No one should be doing that. But if you're committed, you're going to do this until I'm going to do this until I get to director. I'm going to do this until I get to senior rep, because guess what? You're still going to get bonuses. You're still going to grow your team. And when you grow a team, you get residual income, which equals more bonuses. Okay. And I want to challenge you. If you have parties booked right now, and if you've been around for longer than a year, I guarantee you, you're not doing as many parties as you were last year. So if you feel like you're overextended or, you know, things are heavy or overwhelmed, that might be the case, but you did double the parties last year or a triple. In a lot of the reps cases, when I was looking at your guys' numbers, it was 3 times the amount of parties you did last September, October, November than what we're doing now. So, and I want to encourage you, just as well in the last 2 minutes, if you have any questions, you can throw them in the chat. Let's say corporate pulls down this amazing incentive in November. Okay, let's say it's amazing, incredible, double hostess credits. Let's say it's the best of the best. I'm not saying that's what it is, but let's say it is. You would want to work today at booking more parties. Okay, double hostess credits is incredible because you know that 145 PV I was talking about when you sign a rep, that's how you can make that happen because they're getting double the credits. It's going to be more convenient for them to grab that amazing kit, especially with Ruth doing the kits lately. It's just incredible. It's changing every month, like, or every week. It's incredible, right? So keep that in mind. If you're looking at your party schedule, I really encourage you to reach out. And if you don't have a party schedule, if you're not packed, I would love for you to stay for the next 30 minutes of the training. But we do have about 90 seconds if anyone has any questions on rank advancing. If you guys want specific numbers for your team, if you're going after a goal, junior rep, senior rep, or above, I'd love to send you specific numbers as well. And for anyone who's in the new rep group, there is a chat going to happen for the Moonshot bonus. Now, if you're over 2 months into this, that's okay. You can still reach senior rep. And I think that's amazing, right? So don't worry about it. If it's not senior rep, you're like, well, it's not going to be anything then. Well, no, that's a crap attitude. Like, you can still rank advance and do great things. So I did start a chat for, I think I called it the senior rep chat, maybe. I don't know what I called it. It's been a day, guys. But if you're in that chat, I'm going to be, I don't know why you're only sending messages to Nikki. Anyways, but if you're in that chat, definitely take advantage because I'll be posting for the next 30 days. Just help. Okay, I'm going to press pause.